Hey, fellow, welcome to the Tops Hotel and Casino. Have a good time, baby.
I will do my best. What?
Hello.
For your safety, do not insult Mr. Claw.
Makes sense.
Hello.
Are you Mr. Claw's handler? I like his glasses. And his suit's so baggy.
He fits right in.
This is amazing. Hello, Mr. Claw.
Not one of those talking death claws we've heard about.
Nope.
You suck harder than your mom, and I know a death claw who says she sucks the hardest he'd ever seen. That's a very lame thing to say. I don't know if I want to say it.
I'm not going to be saying that one. I've never seen a death claw in a suit before. Who are you? Mr. Teeth Pickerson. Of the New Jersey Pickersons?
So,
Hello.
I don't know how you're not, like, pissing your pants right now, because I almost did.
So, Mr. Claw.
I assume the other death claws tease you for being a pompous prat, huh?
Watch out! Whoa!
Oh no!
Don't
Ah, God!
Why did you provoke this? I guess we've been solving everything.
Whoa. Hold up a second, I just saw something.
Great, so if this cocksucker wants to just stand still while I go through every single round I have, we might have a chance.
I saw a Glock 18, and I know I did.
Really? You think you saw a Glock 18?
I am positive I saw a Glock 18. Who had the Glock 18?
I don't think any of the patrons are going to have a Glock on them. Seeing as how they take your weapons at the door.
I'm 100% positive I saw a Glock 18.
Who would have the Glock?
I don't know. Somebody had it, though. I know I saw it.
No.
I was looking right at it. It was on the floor. It had a silver slide. It had the lever on it. I know someone had it. I know I saw it. I'm not insane. I know I'm not insane. Somebody had a Glock 18. I just have to find the corpse that had it.
But who would have it? The gamblers wouldn't.
Mike, I don't know. All I know is I know I saw someone with it.
Let's rock. Don't suppose you have any green tips with you? Might as well be shooting a tank.
She knows about green tips. That's fun.
Green chips are just live rounds.
The green tips are a barrier penetrating ammo.
Right, which is pretty much standard for 5.56.
Not really, because there's just like 5.56 FMJ rounds. Okay, I've got to be hallucinating because I haven't seen it. It just like disappeared through the floor.
It's a haunted Glock. Woo!
He had it. There it is.
Is that a Glock?
Yep, that is a Glock.
Yeah.
That is 100% a Glock. I can tell by the takedown levers that are right there, but in front of the trigger. He's got a Glock as well. Yes. See, that is a Glock 18. I can tell by the selector lever right there.
Of course you can.
That is a Glock 18 because Glock 17s do not have that selector lever. Oh, it's not full auto though.
It's a semi-auto Glock.
9mm compact pistol.
Ooh, that one's got a green glow sight.
Yeah, which Glock sights don't actually glow like this, but, you know, whatever, it's cool. I can tell it's the Glock 18C because you can see the cutouts on the top of the slide right behind the front sight, and it looks like there's small cutouts on the barrel.
I bet you that we can take these weapons without murdering these guys.
Oh, probably, but I mean, I don't really need it.
You got a Glock 17 and a Glock 18 then.
They're both modeled after a Glock 18. This one would be the Glock 18C, which is the compensated fully automatic Glock, or select fire. This one would be a Glock... Well, it technically wouldn't exist because it's a fully automatic version of a 10mm Glock, which I think is the 21.
Is this one fully automatic?
Well, it's got the full automatic lever on it.
Ah.
There are Glock numbers from 17 until 48.
What, they skip 1 through 16?
Glocks are named after what patent number they were. So 17 was the Glock company's 17th patent. The Glock 18 is the fully automatic one because it was their 18th patent. The Glock 19 is a compact 9mm, and it was their 19th patent.
I've heard of the Glock before.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they so popular?
Because they're relatively inexpensive for an incredibly reliable and robust and well-made handgun.
They're that good, huh?
Yeah, they're very, very good handguns. They're often referred to as America's handgun, despite the fact that they're Austrian. A lot of police departments use Glocks. Usually police departments were for the longest time using them in 40 Smith & Wesson, or as I like to call it, 40 short and weak, or 10 millimeter short.
How do you really feel about that caliber?
I don't like 40 Smith & Wesson. It's completely pointless. I didn't like 40 Smith & Wesson even when it was popular. I thought it was dumb.
But you always like to hate on popular things. That's nothing new.
40 Smith & Wesson was originally designed because in the 1980s, the FBI wanted to move away from 9mm. The FBI at the time was using 9mm handguns, but they were just using full metal jacket rounds. Only special units were allowed to use hollow point bullets.
Okay.
So the FBI wanted a round with more, quote, stopping power, which is not a real thing. They wanted a round
What do you
with...
mean it's not a real thing?
Stopping power is not a real thing. That's not a quantifiable measurement.
It'll stop it in the sense that it'll be dead.
Stopping power is not a quantifiable thing.
Okay.
The FBI wanted a round with more kinetic energy behind it. So they had 10 mil designed. 1mm larger than 9mm, but it's got a whole fuck ton more powder behind it.
Oh, okay.
It's got a lot of powder behind it, so those rounds are just coming out of there real fast.
They've got all these different calibers of bullet. 9mm, 10mm, 11mm, etc., etc. And it doesn't really matter what the size of the bullet is. All that matters is the amount of powder behind it.
To a point, yeah. Because there's a rifle that's in 22-250, which you think, oh, 22, that's tiny. Well, yes, the bullet is real tiny, but it's got like 30 times the amount of powder behind it that the bullet weighs.
Well, now I'm even angrier that there are so many calibers.
Man, you don't even know. There's so many freaking calibers. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I just learned about a new one today. 545.
Yeah, 545. It's the Russian version.
So how many guns, besides her Type 91, use that?
545, there's a bunch of different guns, but the most common one is the AK-74.
That uses 7...
Nope. The AK-47 uses 7.62x39. The AK-74 uses 5.45x39.
Ooh, you're throwing numbers at me, and it's making me angry.
They did that because the Russians wanted a bullet that had better armor or barrier penetration. Mm-hmm. And 7.62 has too much kinetic energy behind it, so it has a tendency to dump all of its kinetic energy into something instead of trying to punch through it.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. The FBI wanted a round with more kinetic energy behind it. So, gun manufacturers came up with the 10mm cartridge, and they sold it to the FBI. The FBI got a bunch of different 1911 styled handguns in 10mm, and then shortly after adopting it went, this has too much recoil, we don't want it anymore. So Smith & Wesson made 40 Smith & Wesson. It's a 10mm bullet with less powder behind it.
Okay, so it's a weaker 10mm.
That's why I refer to it as 40 short and weak, as opposed to 10mm, which is just a frickin' screamer of a cartridge.
But why did they have to call it 40 Smith & Wesson?
Because Smith & Wesson designed it. And Smith & Wesson, we ain't using no millimeters on our guns. We use caliber like real Americans.
We like to put our name in the name of our bullet caliber because we're a bunch of assholes. No one else did that, but we're doing it.
Because the FBI had adopted the 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge, a bunch of police departments started adopting the 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge because we want the same caliber that the FBI is using, because look how cool the FBI is. And at the time, a lot of police departments were still carrying like 38 special revolvers. So at the time, 40 Smith & Wesson was not a bad option, because what 40 Smith & Wesson got you was more kinetic energy than 9mm, not as much as 45 ACP, but you get more capacity than 45 ACP. So 40 Smith & Wesson was this nice little happy medium right in between 9mm, which gave you a lot of capacity, but not a lot of stopping power, and 45, which gave you a lot of stopping power, but not a lot of capacity.
Okay.
So 40 Smith & Wesson sat right in the middle there.
I'm juggling a lot of information here.
That ended up becoming a problem because it turned out that 40 Smith & Wesson, it didn't offer that much more of a benefit to 9mm. They found in recent ballistics tests that 40 Smith & Wesson has roughly the same kinetic energy behind it as 9mm. Maybe a little bit more, but not much.
Where are we going with this information? What's the overall point you're trying to make here?
Man, I don't know. I completely I lost the forest for the trees there. You got me talking about gun stuff, and I lost the forest for the trees.
We were talking about the differences and the variations of Glocks, and then you started talking about 40 Smith & Wesson ammo types and the history of military.
Yeah, man. Holy shit. Wow. I just like blacked out for a second there. I'm sorry. I just went into like gun store rant.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm sorry, dude. Oh, Oh, God, I feel real bad now. I just wasted like 20 minutes of your time.
I let you keep going. I learned something new. I learned some new things, so it's not a waste of my time.
Anyway, okay, so, oh, no, it's because I said that I wasn't a big fan of 40 Smith & Wesson. That's why I went into this whole fucking tangent. Anyway, ballistics have improved substantially in the last, like, 20 years. 9mm hollow points now have just as much, if not more, kinetic energy behind them.
Just gonna add more gunpowder.
Than a 40 Smith & Wesson. 40 Smith & Wesson doesn't really serve a purpose anymore, to the point that most police departments are actually getting away from 40 Smith & Wesson and going back to 9mm.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I knew that there were different types of 9mm ammo.
Mm-hmm.
There was 9x17, 9x18, 9x19 Makarov.
9x21.
I believed that the differences in these types of bullets was the size of the cartridge that it came in.
The case length, yeah.
Yeah, the case length.
For the most part, you're right, yeah.
Does the difference in powder affect it?
Yes, you can use different types of powder. I am terrible with remembering powder types, but you can get different types of powder that burn faster or burn hotter, and that will cause the bullet to exit the gun faster, because you're causing a bigger explosion on the inside of the gun.
Are there bullet calibers that are the same bullet size, the same cartridge length, but different powders? And can these similar bullets of varying powders be fired out of the same gun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not like putting a 9x19 parabellum round in your Makarov.
That would not be good for the gun.
But the differences in the powder don't matter as much.
No, that's what plus P ammo is.
Oh.
Plus P ammo is just a 9mm bullet with more or hotter burning powder behind it.
You know what? When you tell me about overpressure ammo, for some reason, for the longest time, my mind always imagined some kind of pneumatic pressurized system in the bullet. I didn't really put two and two together. It's just more powder.
It's just more powder, yeah.
It's not a pressurized cartridge.
No. I'm glad that you understand that now.
We were supposed to be doing missions for this guy, and instead we shut up a casino and talked about guns for half an hour.
Oh my god, yeah. What the hell? I am seriously sorry that I just went on that huge gun rant, though, because, like, that was not my intention. Look, there's a Glock right over there.
Your eyes glossed over, you couldn't stop.
No, my eyes glazed over. It was just, I was in a fugue state. I have no memory of that. I can't be held accountable for it in court.
Your eyelids closed, text started scrolling, and you were reading the Wikipedia articles.
In my brain, because I just downloaded things to my brain now.
Yes, the memory bank.
It's just Johnny Mnemonic up in here. Did you ever see that movie again?
No, I haven't.
I don't even know.
You dig this crazy scene or what?
Look at this pool.
That's pretty nice.
Has this always been here? And we just never knew about it?
Maybe? Honestly, it isn't bad. The walls could use some work in this place, but
You've got a diving board. I'm ready. I'm watching.
Yeah!
You're wet.
Oh, that was a mistake. This is leather. It's going to take forever to dry. Oh, Eliza, you weren't supposed to jump in after me. Mike!
I succumbed to peer pressure.
Yes. Can I help you?
Relaxing by the pool? That's an interesting place for a politician.
True. It would be more appropriate for us to frequent Gomorrah.
Would it?
No, I'm just here for the cheap rooms and the cheaper tables. My colleagues may, at the moment, prefer to discuss business in the embassy. Me? Well, if I have to spend a single second more than I have to with them, I'd be liable to shoot myself.
That's an interesting attitude you have.
Isn't it, though? I've proven resistant to their bribes enough times that they're not especially interested in real socializing with me anyhow. Advocating for the peaceful withdrawal of NCR forces from this disastrous campaign is markedly less popular than I anticipated. Look at this mess. Our soldiers are dying out here, in the desert, far from home. We're dumping what little money we have on Nevada. Why? For space? We're not even close to running out of land back west. Resources? What's out here that we need that badly?
Well, the dam.
Hoover Dam is of major importance, of course. but we're already getting power from it per our agreement with House. Our attempts at annexation, it's unjustifiable. You can't force people to accept democracy at gunpoint. That defeats the whole concept.
You shouldn't, sure. Historically, though...
Banana Wars! Well, except no, that wasn't forcing people to accept democracy. That was forcing people to accept a dictatorship so the price of bananas would stay low.
It was forcing a form of government on a people, so same principle.
I guess. You don't seem very fond of the NCR.
Not at all. Everything I do because I love my country, and I want to set it back on the right path.
You shouldn't love your country. It's a bad idea.
It leaves me in the position of being rather unpopular back home. Given the state of the world, you'd think they might value peaceful dissent.
One of these days, we're going to have a talk about the differences between nationalism and patriotism, because I think the idea of one has infected your idea of the other.
I think any form of patriotism is nationalism.
There are some blurry lines there.
I don't think you're allowed to like your country at all.
Oh, okay.
You're allowed to like everybody else's country, just not yours.
You've taken your self-loathing to the national level. Anyway, about that sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, it's too late for the NCR to back out. Once the Legion is defeated, you can reintroduce the idea.
You have a point. It would have been better if we had never come here at all. But if we withdraw now, it's the people of the Mojave who would suffer most. All right. Once the dam's been secured and the Legion crushed, I'll see if we might be more willing to see reason. In the meanwhile, at least I won't need to listen to Senator Burke whining about aiding the enemy for the foreseeable future. I detest that man.
Yeah, I heard he's a horrible human being and his son sucks. I don't actually have a problem with patriotism. I just have a problem with, like...
blind patriotism?
Yeah.
You grow up thinking all these positive things about your country, and then you go to college, and you read a history book, and you learn about the Banana Wars, and the everything else, and suddenly it doesn't look quite so good. It wasn't just the Native Americans that we fucking murdered. Turns out...
God, that was just horrible.
Turns out there's quite a lot of people.
Oh. Andrew Jackson used to be my favorite president until I started reading about the Trail of Tears, and then suddenly I was like, wow, he was a horrible human being and should have been murdered.
I like his gimmick. I don't like him.
About the fact that he was in just a ton of different duels, that's hilarious.
And this parrot that swears.
Yeah, that had to be thrown out of his funeral because it wouldn't stop cursing.
Yeah.
That's funny shit. The fact that he kept a 1-ton wheel of cheese in the main level of the White House, that's hilarious.
So eccentric.
I don't have a problem with patriotism, but also it's like, blind patriotism really just irks me.
You know who was really patriotic? The Nazis.
Yeah?
They loved their country so much that they killed a bunch of gypsies and Jews.
And gays.
And pretty much everybody.
Yeah, pretty much literally everyone. You know who else was really patriotic? Stalin.
Did Stalin love his country?
I think Stalin loved himself more. Actually, I'm not sure Stalin was capable of loving anything, except power.
It's also part of why I'm not so opposed to communism as some might suggest. One of the most common arguments is every communist nation collapses under its own weight. Kind of leaving out all the communist places that were overthrown. So, even though I know it's not exactly a logical argument, I have a gut reaction to that.
I understand where you're coming from, but the problem with we're in a strip club talking about the merits of communism versus democracy.
Wasn't advocating for it, but
no, but I understand the merits of what you're saying.
Look at the tits on this lady.
I know, right? Lady, look, here, I understand that democracy is not without its inherent flaws, yes. However, communism is not necessarily a better alternative because it is a human institution, and human institutions are always prone to corruption and failure.
But that's true no matter what.
That's true no matter what. I mean, capitalism, we're not even a democracy at this point. It's just it's a capitalistic oligarchy.
Well, you're confusing the forms of commerce with the forms of governance. Capitalism opposes communism, but democracy opposes dictatorship. You can have a capitalistic dictatorship You can have a communistic democracy.
The problem with communism, though, is communism really only works on small scale. It doesn't work for an entire country.
I don't know enough to debate you on that. I'm willing to admit that I'm ignorant of this. Anyway.
Eliza, do you got anything to say about that? No?
What are your thoughts on politics?
I think we are probably the only people in human history that have gone into a strip club and talked about the merits of communism versus, you know what? No.
No, absolutely not.
I'm not going to say that. There definitely have been those conversations before. Yeah.
That's where you have those conversations.
In a strip club. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I convinced Shapiro to reconsider his position.
You're fucking kidding me.
No?
That fucker was annoyingly incorruptible. I don't know how you pulled that off, but maybe Sullivan was right about you.
I just talked at him.
Well, I guess I don't have any objections to letting you in on the business. Go back to Freeside. There's plenty of shit needing done. In the meantime, I'm gonna set up in that poker hall you cleared out for Sullivan.
Oh, I was gonna ask him what their business arrangement was, because I'm actually curious.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll have the opportunity to talk to him later.
Okay.
Anyway, so back to communism.
No, 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 no. Don't walk away from me.
Although I would too.
I was busy scatting.